I'm recording
Boom,
now.
baby. We are recording now.
I'm at
The first.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm at like 10 seconds in case you want to line it, make sure it's lined up roughly.
Yeah, I'm at 15. That's
16.
yeah, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's we're probably
Yeah.
like a pubic hair off, but that's okay.
Yep. Yep.
It's
Yep.
we'll synchronize it pretty well here. Pretty sure. So,
So
or we won't.
so I think one good thing. I mean, do you want to kind of introduce, since this is the first time that we're kind of running
Hell
this,
yeah.
like what's
Hell
going
yeah, dude.
on? Yeah.
Absolutely. This is the first episode ever of the Insomnicast right here. The show where AlphaTyler and your boy Nampson, we're gonna be doing some spooky stories, some readings of some spooky stories,
Yep.
because Tyler and I are both very big horror fans, and we do enjoy going down these little rabbit holes. So,
Yep.
what better of a way to enjoy them than to go through and read them? One of your best buddies. So.
I think it's beautiful, and I also think it's really good. Like, we haven't actually like plugged this to anybody else really
No,
either.
I know,
Like,
and that's what's so
so
cool about it. Like nobody in the Discord knew what we were planning on
yeah,
doing.
yeah. It's like we because so when we were live the other day, I was like, well, we're gonna do some stuff, and then some stuff turned into, well, we're gonna, all right, guys, like y'all bye. Like
Yeah, yep.
it was never anything more than that. And I mean, I think that's good, because like too much, I feel like we get locked into our hole, and everybody's like, oh, let me kind of slide in, let me see this, let me. And there's no negativity to anybody, no disrespect to anybody. It's just like, it's kind of cool to remember, like starting fresh
Yeah,
sometimes. You know what I mean?
absolutely. It's not like plugged up yet. Like nobody's expecting this. This is going to be
Yeah.
something that we'll edit it all together. And then once it's all edited and ready for the first episode, maybe we even get the second episode ready to go. And then that way, when we do
Yep.
announce it, people will be,
Yeah. So, like, little bit of background. I don't know about you, but when it comes to like doing the creepypasta stuff, there was up until about 6 months ago, and it really only stopped about 6 months ago because my wife was kind of tired of it. But like up until about 6 months ago, like I am notorious for, I will go to sleep listening to creepypastas.
yep.
So when you asked me about this, I was like, yes, I would love to do this, because it's like, bro, like I listen to that shit every night. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my bedtime ritual, is lay down, listen to some creepy pastas, listen through some whatever. And yeah, I won't name names, especially
No,
not the negative ones, because
right, right.
that would be uncouth, if you will.
Ex-
But
I,
hmm. So for this first one, I don't know about you, but I picked a story that to me is one of the more unsettling stories that
I'm
I've ever
excited.
read in the creepypasta. And so you don't know the story, yeah?
I don't
Like
know, and
okay.
I like unsettling things. I like things that keep
So
you on the edge of the seat.
do, out of curiosity, and it's kind of related, also kind of not. Are you familiar with Bear in the Big Blue House?
Yes, yes, I remember that show.
So I'll say this: Bear in the Big Blue House is what I always think about when I go back to this creepy pasta, because I'm like, uh, like Bear in the Big. I was never a fan of Bear in the Big Blue House. It was after my time. My niece was a huge fan of it though, and
I
so I
was
would
a fan.
always come in and she's watching it. So it hits your generation then,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Well,
like that, yeah.
I
Go
think,
ahead.
yeah, no, if it's touching on that at all, I'm especially with it saying 1999. So that's for those of you who don't know, our first story we're going to be reading is called 1999. This is Tyler's pick, so he found this. If you guys have creepy pastas or a no sleep story that you want us to read, please drop it down in the comments. Let us know. We want to hear what you guys have to say. It would be a good read for us, and we're stoked on it. And so this is I'm excited to read this because I did not read through it. Where I'm going in blind on this one. The rest of them were mostly going in blind. I'm pretty sure. I haven't read
Yeah,
any of
yeah.
these. Tyler might have skimmed through some of them, but the first thing I saw was Pokemon, and it's in year 1999, which I would have been about 3 to 4 years old during the set of this. So this is going to be right as I was forming my first like real TV show memories and everything. So I'm excited, bro. I'm beyond excited.
I was learning how to skateboard in 1999.
All right, dating yourself a little bit there. You're what, like 6 fucking years older than me?
Yeah, not that much. So I was 9 going on to 10 in 99. So
Okay.
yeah, so not that much older, but that was around the time that I got into skateboarding and stuff. So um, it's funny because so you have and last personal note before we get into it, but you have like the same problem that my wife does because the 90s evolved so quickly and
Yeah.
drastically, you know. It's like
Right.
it's like the late 90s. It's like while you guys were babies, it's like I was getting ready to go into middle school, and so it's like I was doing like middle school things, you know. And it's because Sierra all the time, it's like, oh, I was a baby when this happened, and I'm like, yeah, I was practicing driving the car. Like-
That's that's Ellie and I had similar conversations of the fact of like we had like a 9 year age difference. So
yeah,
for that,
yeah.
she would constantly pull, oh, when you were doing this, I was just born. I was 2 years old. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Don't just stop. Just don't stop. Okay, just enough.
Yeah. Well,
But
it's
yeah.
one of those things you don't realize how much of a difference a certain time get. But literally, what I go back to, and this is I tell people this all the time. It's because the '90s was such a transitional period of time.
It
You
was
know what I'm saying?
huge.
Like
Yeah,
especially
technology was
yeah.
becoming way more relevant.
Yeah, and so like growing up in the '90s, like early in the '90s, I don't remember. I remember a time that there was no cell phone in the family, there was no computer in the house, and then I remember when we got the family cell phone, and then I remember when like we got the family home computer, and then I
Yep.
also remember when it turned into, oh, well, everybody needs a cell phone. And then it turned into, well, everybody needs a laptop. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah.
See, I remember those times too, though, because my family didn't have a cell phone. Until probably like I'd say probably early 2000, like 2000,
Yeah. Yeah.
2001 was when. So I vaguely remember them bringing in flip phones and everything.
Yeah.
We had our home line. I used to always record different little like voice memos for the answering machine.
Yeah.
Like I would change the answering machine thing all the time, and my mom, God love her, she was not thrilled. But I do remember the family computer. We had like a clear blue plastic shell like Dell computer that
Yeah.
was like right in front of the kitchen space, and that I loved that fucking computer, dude. I would love to like get one of those as a monitor. I
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah.
how the logistics of that would work, but that'd be
Terribly. So I'll be honest with you. I,
terrible.
I I used I used an old monitor for a second monitor for a long time, and then like just because I was just like, well, it's what I have. You know what I mean?
Right.
Fucking sucks.
Well, see,
It
I
like
wouldn't use it specifically as a monitor. I mean, like a little piece of decor kind of thing, like playing a little logo or something in the
yeah, yeah.
background.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have this
So
very nice curved monitor that's like
yeah,
49
same,
inches.
same.
And
It's
I,
like, and that's where I say they suck now because like
yeah,
I'm so used to just this
we,
massive curved thing in front of me, and like,
we've been so spoiled. Like this is a QLED monitor. Like the colors in this, I can't even like. If I was a fucking, like a 7 year old again, I would lose. This would be like the most futuristic thing I could possibly imagine. Like this is crazy. Like the
yeah,
next step is just hologram. No, this is just in people's houses now. Like it blows my
yep,
mind the leaps
yep.
and bounds we've had since then.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It actually is crazy.
It is absolutely. But you ready? You ready to hop on into this? Get this story rolling?
I am ready. And actually, I feel like that was accidentally just a beautiful introduction to 1999 as well. Because, I mean,
absolutely.
Hey, who doesn't like a little trip down memory lane?
See, I like that. I think a little bit of banter back and forth, a little bit of discussion. And I think for future ones, obviously, when we go into it with neither one of us knowing anything about it, I think it's going to be cool to speculate. Like, what is the title going to be like? I'm excited. And some of these we're not going to know because, like the one I picked out, I'm sure some of the ones you picked out, like.
Yeah.
So we can do that a bit here too.
Well, literally, so those last 3 that I sent, I mean, they're lists. I think I've listened to somebody else read one of them, but I picked them specifically because they were rules-based stories that were short, and so no, I can't say off top that I do know them.
I'm excited.
But yeah, the 1999. It's been forever since I've read this one. But like this one is actually like it was creepy, and also like I've seen a fair number of people online say this one always hits them as like creepy as fuck. You know what I mean?
I'm excited, dude. You're hyping this up really, really big for me.
Yeah.
And like I've never actually done readings of these. Like I've always listened to them, but I've never actually sat through and read one.
So funny thing, for a Halloween stream a few years ago, I did, instead of like, so my normal thing for Halloween is play a game like Visage or something.
Right.
A few years ago, randomly, I did a Halloween stream where I literally, all the lights were off. I dimmed, like this was out, like I was down. I was here, and I had my face painted and I had a hood on, and I put like a demon effect on my voice in my DAW and just ran my voice through the DAW. And only read Creepypasta. Like that was it. That's all dope. We did for the stream. Nobody was there for it. Like everybody was like, eh.
Dude, I would have been all over that. I would have been all over that.
And so
was I around then? Did I miss that?
No, I think it was right. I think it was the Halloween right before you and I connected. And so
that been a couple months then.
Yeah. And so everybody was just like, not really it. And I'm like, they're like, dance monkey, listen to music.
The algorithm wants you to do this and this only.
Yeah.
That's why one of the things I think is going to be cool about starting a dedicated channel to it and just pushing it of just like, hey, we're doing this separate thing. If you guys want to tune in for it, awesome. If not, we'll grow a literal separate audience to it. And that's cool too.
No, for sure. Because like, bro, I mean, our community is beautiful, but it's like, we need fresh eyes. We need new people, like.
And for those of you that are fresh and new, my name is Nick. I also go by Nampson over on the tube. I make music. I don't even know what genre to call it. A little bit of everything squished into one, primarily hip hop. And that is my boy,
AlphaTyler. I go by Tyler. I make music, listen to music, play video games. I do things mostly on Twitch. So that's where the cool kids hang out, is at Twitch.
Links in the description.
Yep. Specifically twitch.tv/AlphaTyler, but also sometimes twitch.tv/Nampson.
This is true. More of this will be taking place. I have recently had a very big part of my schedule freed up. I did not become unemployed, but in a sense, one of my obligations has relieved itself from being obligated. So that's...
Did not become unemployed, but became less vocated.
Correct. Perfect. Couldn't have phrased it better myself. But without further ado, 1999.
1999. Here we go. The year is 1999. That sentence brings me back to my senior kindergarten. Wait. Okay, I already fucked up. Start over.
That's okay. That's
Pause.
okay. That's okay.
Refresh.
This is our first time doing this. We might be moderately illiterate, but we're going to grow. Okay. I
Yep.
suck at reading things out loud. I'm great at reading them in my head. So this is the thing for both of us. Where see the actual point of this channel is to gain literacy and to be able to read past a 5th grade reading level. So
we're just on our reading journey, and you're along for the ride.
correct.
All right. Yeah, serious take this time.
Take 2.
The year is 1999. That sentence brings me back to my senior kindergarten class when I was 5 years old, where we used to read out the date on the blackboard every single day. The year 1999 exists as a stain in my mind. However, as a memory that will not go away no matter how I try to forget it. 1999 marked the year I lost my first tooth, my first time on a plane, and unfortunately, the loss of my childhood innocence.
I gotta butt in real quick just for 2 seconds. I already love the setup for this. I mean, the way that this is being layered.
I'm telling you.
I could feel the tingles starting on my skin, man. This is going to be good. Sorry. Please
I'm
continue.
telling you, it's a good one. It's a great one. Hold up. I gotta, my glasses are broken, so it's fucking fighting me right now.
What are they, like the frame or something?
Well, I broke the frame off and I haven't been back to the eye doctor to get new ones. All right. That one memory that refuses to be wiped. It all started with that new, or old, TV. At that time, the Pokemon was the latest fad to hit school. Pokemon cards, games, stickers, and the most popular, the TV show. So of course, every time I came home, fucking hell. Okay, I'm gonna restart. Just cut this part. Cut this part and take me back.
Can't promise that I might just leave it in intentionally.
Dirty. All right. No more fuck ups. Restarting the paragraph. So, of course, every time I came home from school, I would stay glued to the TV until Pokemon came on at 5. The only problem was that my dad watched the news at 5:30, and Pokemon episodes were back to back, which meant I had to miss an episode every day. Something I whined about on and on about.
I just have to say, I feel the author on a spiritual level. My dad was a avid news watcher, and it was always right as I was gonna watch my show. And his line, he'd say this every time: "I gotta know what's going on in the world." And like, to me, it was always mostly like local stuff that they not super local, but it was mostly United States related things. And I was like, that's not the world. It's
Yep.
But I feel this,
bro. That single TV in the house. I'm saying, like, we all grew up with a single TV in the house, and the kids are the lowest on the totem pole. Days of Our Lives took priority over Dragon Ball Z, and it pissed me off to no end.
Actually, crime again.
It is. All right. My dad got tired of hearing me complain every day. That must be why he went and bought another TV. Oh, look at that.
2 TVs now.
My dad put the TV he bought in my room. Unfortunately, it was just an old small boob tube with rabbit ears even. It also only had 20 It also only had 20 channels available, not including the channel Pokemon was on. I recall I didn't care though. I was just thrilled I had my own TV in my room. After surfing through the channels, I came to the conclusion that only Channel 2, TVO Kids, was worth watching, so I watched that for a while. It wasn't for another few months until I discovered Channel 21. One day in April, I was flipping through channels trying to see if Pokemon was on. I pressed Channel 21 into the remote, hoping there were more channels, and to my delight, there was. My dad was surprised too, but he let me watch it because it seemed to have kids programming on. The channel was called Caledon Local 21, and later I found out it was indeed broadcasted from the town of Caledon, Ontario, a town very close to my city. The shows I saw on Caledon Local 21 looked poorly made, and I never understood what was going on in them half the time. However, as I grew up, every time I thought of that channel, I realized more and more how messed up the shows were, and I had to ask myself, what the fuck was I watching?
What was I watching? Supposed to do the quotes, remember, when you're doing that?
That's true. Let's run that back.
What the fuck was I watching? Imagine just being a little fucking 6-year-old and you're just like, what the fuck am I watching right now?
Yep. The following is a list of shows and episodes I remember seeing on Caledon Local 21. How I remember such detail even disturbs me, but I guess things like this stand out in your mind for a while. The channel only ran a few shows, probably because it was only operational between 4 p.m. and 9 p.m.
All right, I like this little exposition so far. This is a really interesting setup. Like, so you only have 20 channels. You're flipping through and you only get 20 channels, but you punch it, because I've punched in numbers before, and it just brings you straight to that static. Like, you never get any actual channel. It's like, no, you do not pass go, do not collect $200. So for it to actually bring something, dude, that's already set me on edge. It's something that shouldn't be there. It's cool. I like this.
It's the hair raiser.
April 1999. Mr. Bear's Cellar, episode 12. Very sketchy name if you know where to look for it nowadays. The show featured a guy wearing a bear mascot costume who would get a new visitor into his cellar every day. It was always a kid. That show was filmed with a camcorder. Not a very good one either. The police asked me lots of questions about the show. Oh, already, dude. The episode started with Mr. Bear sitting at a table playing checkers by himself. He sat there playing for a bit until there was a knock at the door. The camera was then looking up the stairs at the door, where there was another knock. Mr. Bear climbed the stairs and opened the door to reveal 2 young children. One was a boy about my age, and the other was a girl who looked about 8. Mr. Bear danced in delight, and then started talking to the kids. Couldn't hear any of them that well. I remember Mr. Bear then led the kids down into the cellar, which was quite dark, only lit by a small oil lamp on the table. Can't really remember much more than that, except him singing a song, which I couldn't hear too well either. Probably, because of the large bear mask. The episode ended with them playing hide and seek. The kids hiding in the closet, Mr. Bear counting.
Dun dun. May 1999. Go ahead.
The setup is just insane already. Like, it's so, because like, imagine you're just flipping through and this is on the local broadcast channel. Like, this isn't something someone's paying for. Like, this is a couple people got together and said, I'm going on PBS.
Well, it's not national syndication. It's the local broadcast channel,
right?
Which means it's not far. And take you back to 1999. Not far. Like was very not far. It was very regional. This was before 9/11, kids. For anyone who doesn't remember, this was before the world became global. Okay? And so your local broadcast channel, that was where, you watched your science teacher do goofy experiments at midnight on a fuzzy static channel. That's why, so earlier in the story, it mentions that the show came on between 4 and 9 p.m. Because outside of those times, they didn't just have like nothing's playing. It was just that channel was shut off. Because in the 90s, when you had cable in your house, you went to some guy's house and paid for cable. You didn't go to like Spectrum or wherever. Right. You went to the guy's house and said, "Hey, here's my $40 for the month." You know what I mean?
Yep. And what I love too, to add to that, the public broadcast aspect of it, is the fact that they make specific detail to just talk about how low fidelity it is. It was a camcorder recording. Yep. You couldn't really hear much of the audio. Yep. Like, dude, this is, oh man, it's super sketchy. I love it.
All right, here we go. Next month, May 1999. Soup and Spoon. I don't think this was even a show. I think it was more of a special movie thing. All I know is I stopped watching Caledon Local 21 for a while because I thought the show was too stupid, especially since Pokemon now came on at 4:30 and 5. I don't remember much of this, but it showed a can of soup and a spoon, both attached to strings, swinging back and forth, as if someone was holding them and dangling them in front of the camera. Interestingly enough, the show was shot in a basement, which looked just like the one used in Mr. Bear's cellar. Like I said, I can't remember much. The only thing I can remember clearly was the end. The entire thing was only half an hour, and just included stuff I found stupid, such as the spoon chasing the soup around trying to
Eat him!
The ending showed a table and about 7 kids sitting around it, each with a bowl of soup in front of them. They were sitting and looking at the camera, but with confused, almost frightened faces. The cameraman then held the can of soup in front of the kids and said,
Spoon's ready.
and then it just stopped.
July 1999. It was summer, and I hadn't watched Channel 21 for a while. Until one day, when I had slept over at my friend's house and decided to check it out again. My friend had gotten a TV in his room for his 6th birthday, so we stayed up very late for us. 9:30 was very late. And watched TV. That's when I remembered Channel 21 and brought it up to my friend. We decided to see if it was on. To our surprise, it was. It must have changed the broadcasting time. Mr. Bear's Cellar, episode 23. This episode was entertaining for my friend and me, mainly because it had swearing. However, now, when I think of this episode, I realize something was definitely wrong. Filmed. The episode started with the camera on its side, while it was facing Mr. Bear, who walked upstairs to the cellar door. The camera then blacked out for about a second, before fading in, back upright and facing Mr. Bear. There was also another kid talking to him. This kid looked about 11 or 12. He was talking to Mr. Bear for a while. I couldn't hear well again with the crappy camcorder. Till the kid started raising his voice. The kid was saying how it was late and his sister had to go home. You could also hear more voices in the background. I remember Mr. Bear clearly saying,
Get the fuck out. You're not invited!
with a deep voice muffled by the bear man. I remember my friend and I looking at each other and laughing at the mention of the forbidden F word. The episode got weirder. The kid began climbing the stairs, or turning around and saying how he was going to call the police. Mr. Bear began breaking into a run towards the kid, who started screaming and running. The camera then cut out. That was the end of the episode. The channel then turned into static short. Oh, dude, what the fuck? This is fucking horrifying, bro. My skin is crawling, dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit, I can't imagine seeing this on a public broadcast station, bro. I'd lose my shit. I'd be like, someone needs to call the fucking police right now, because that is not meant.
Well, but you gotta remember, they're kids. They don't
Right, no, absolutely, absolutely.
This is entertainment.
But I guess my question here is, are they the only ones watching?
August 1999. I didn't want to watch Channel 21 after that. In August, I grew more curious to see if Mr. Bear's Cellar for some reason. The last episode I saw of Mr. Bear was weird and had swearing, which also made me think the show was meant for teenagers. Nonetheless, I flipped onto Channel 21 when my dad was busy. Mr. Bear's Cellar, episode 28. Apparently this episode had been playing the entire month of August. It was studied a lot by the police. The entire episode was just Mr. Bear sitting in a chair talking to the audience. Hello, kids. Do you want to visit my cellar?
Supposed to.
Oh, fuck.
You're killing me. You're killing me.
Hold on.
The quotation marks.
The entire episode was just Mr. Bear sitting in a chair talking to the audience.
Hello, kids. Do you want to visit my cellar? If you do, please write me a letter at this address.
The screen then switched to a white screen with multicolored letters reading the address, and that was what remained for the rest of the episode. This repeated 4 or 5 hours every day until September came. And guess what I actually did? I sent... This is an interesting... Okay, I think I read this one. Okay, and guess what I actually did? I sent Mr. Bear, or that sick bastard who portrayed him, a letter. I did it out of curiosity mostly. My dad was okay with it because he thought it was a legit kids show. But then again, he never saw any of what was on Channel 21. So I wrote a letter using my best writing possible. I think I just said how I wanted to meet Mr. Bear. So my dad sent the letter to the address Mr. Bear said on the show. Stayed on all day anyway for some reason. It took about a week to get a response, which I was surprised I did. I still have the letter I received on August 15th, 1999. The letter read,
Dear Elliot, thank you very much for your letter. I would love to have you in my cellar. We play games, watch movies, and go fire camping in the middle of the woods. Come to my house at Caledon, Ontario, Canada. I look very forward to having fun with you. Love, Mr. Bear.
I cannot believe my dad never found this sketchy, because he actually took me to the house, and then that's when the police became involved. Those endless questions, those pictures of terrified kids, the woods. That brings me to why I'm writing this blog. That psycho and his friends did some fucked up shit back then, and now it seems he's trying to get in contact with me again. The entire police thing is coming back. That has brought 1999 back to me. Over a decade later, it is happening again.
Oh, dude, this is insane. Like, each little step forward we go, it just gets so much creepier and so much creepier. Like, it starts out so innocent from this kid's perspective, and then you can tell just how quickly he's, like, even as, he's supposed to be like 5 or 6 years old.
Yeah,
and
he's a young kid.
He's even now, like, when he says, like, after seeing the swearing, like, I knew something was wrong about this. I knew I shouldn't be watching this. But the fact that his dad still lets him send out the letter, he's out of curiosity. But, like, for me, like, why would you go?
Yeah.
Why would you go?
Well, it's that innocence, man. It's the innocence of a child. You go because, Mr. Bear, I mean, he's on the show. He's got to be a good guy. He's having fun on the show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Update, November 14th, 2009. People have been emailing me asking what exactly happened in 1990. I will get to that. Those weird TV shows I was watching were meant to attract kids to Mr. Bear's house. What Mr. Bear did shocked the entire town. My dad actually drove me to Caledon, along with the address Mr. Bear left on the letter. The house was actually in the outskirts of the town, in the open farmland. You'll remember that house. It looked like an older farmhouse that looked to have been built in the early 1900s. Windows were all boarded up, and the house looked in a state of disrepair. As we walked up to the house, I remember my dad checking the address over and over and over again, and looking at the house in disbelief. Then, the door opened. I expected Mr. Bear to be at the door, but I was surprised to see a police officer emerging from the creaking doorway, excuse me. We both read at a 4th grade level, okay? The officer began talking to my dad, while I quickly asked if that was Mr. Bear's house. The officer's face cringed slightly, and he muttered, "Oh God," something like that. He started talking quietly to my dad so I couldn't hear, although my dad told me to go to the car anyway. Then we just went home. My dad was quiet the whole way home. I felt something strange had happened. My dad never told me what happened for a while. I don't like that sentence. My dad never told me what happened for a while. Wouldn't you just say my dad took a while to tell me what happened?
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm nitpicking. Okay. My dad never told me what happened for a while. I forgot about it anyway, too. Channel 21 no longer came on. When I asked about it, my dad would not acknowledge its existence. I think it was when I turned 13 where I learned the truth. I remembered Channel 21 one day and asked my dad about it. I guess he finally decided I should hear the truth. Caledon Local 21 was a local TV channel that ran from October 1977 to August 1999 in Peel region of Ontario. The entire channel was made from a house in Caledon, the one that I had visited, and run by a man who was not really known by anyone in the town. The channel was only available to older TVs because the signal was only picked up by rabbit ears, weaker frequency. The man created all the shows on the channel, all of which were kid shows. He, Mr. Bear, and he was the mysterious cameraman. The real reason he created the channel was more disturbing than what was originally thought. As you might have already guessed, he kidnapped kids, held them in his cellar. While most people thought he was a serial child molester, he really wanted to use the kids for another purpose. The day I arrived, the man fled his house the night before the day before the police went in for their investigation. I wasn't the only one who was watching. This is terrifying. This is so fucked already, dude. Like, the more they add to it, the worse. And I love the format here where it keeps breaking it apart date by date, where like major events happening rather than it all happens at once.
Absolutely.
Like this is super, like the suspense building and story building of this is awesome.
Yep. So here's the update from December 2nd, 2009. Sorry for not answering any questions for so long. I haven't accessed my email account in some time. Anyway, let me finally set some things straight about what I know. Back in October, I visited the house previously owned by the man who ran Caledon Local 21. 2 women lived there, operating a daycare business. How ironic. Now, to answer questions you guys emailed to me. Question.
Who else watched Caledon Local 21?
I know other people watched it for sure, including those kids who wound up at Mr. Bear's house. After some Google searches, I found a few people on the NeoSeeker forums who were discussing shows from Caledon Local 21. They talked about the 2 shows I watched, but also another 2 shows I had never seen. A user named I Am Real Life seemed to know all the shows that were broadcasted on Channel 21. Here are the 2 ones I've never heard of: Fallen Angel and Life. I'm Real described it as if it was a fairly boring show about a guy rambling on in front of the camera about how we must please Satan and appease him before it is too late. And Paint with the Soul. I'm Real Life and another user called Siggy92 were discussing this show. They described it as a Blair Witch-like, as it consisted of the cameraman wandering around the forest at night doing nothing particularly interesting. I'll go looking for the conversation and see if I can get that link.
Where is Mr. Bear, or the guy who wore the costume?
If I did know, I would have said earlier. I have no idea where this guy is, or if he's alive or dead. Hopefully dead. When I see my dad's friend next time, I will ask him about this. Maybe I can get a more definitive answer.
What did Mr. Bear do to the children?
This is by far the most common question I've been asked. I found this out in October as well, by my dad's friend who is a retired Caledon regional officer. Apparently, the man playing as Mr. Bear took the kids out of the house and into the forest nearby. What he did there, police are not exactly sure how it happened, but 16 charred bodies of children between the ages of 4 and 13 were found in a 15 by 15 foot ditch deep within the forest. My dad's friend did not want to go into exact details, but I'm seeing him next Thursday anyway, so maybe I can extort more information from him then. That's all I have for now. Thanks for keeping an interest in my blog. I'll try to gather as much information as I can for my next post. I've actually been getting pretty interested in this myself. It should be my right to know what the hell happened.
Dude, what the fuck?
I told you, it gets dark. Like, as far as like an uncomfortable creepypasta, come on.
Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh, bro. Like, what the shit, man? This is already like... I'm not sure how much we have left of this, but this is already such a crazy twist.
We're about halfway.
Okay.
So here's the thing, and this is why this one always stands out to me and why it's one that I come back to. It seems like it's a setup for, like, okay, like he said there. Everybody assumed that Mr. Bear was a serial child molester. And the deeper you get in those first few updates, it seems like that's where you're going.
That's what my first impression of him was, especially after he sent the letter, and I was like, yeah, no, that's exactly what.
But that's not it.
Yeah, no, he clearly a serial child murderer. Fucking 16 charred bodies. How do you get that many bodies in? Like, how do
Yep. Yep.
surely somebody notices the kids going missing.
You would think.
Update, January 14th, 2010. Sorry I haven't posted anything for a while. I kind of lost interest in this blog since I hit a standstill while looking for more information about the identity of the owner of Caledon Local 21. However, a few weeks ago, I struck gold. Found some answers surprisingly from the father of a kid I used to babysit. He lives just across from my street. I used to look after his kids when they were younger. He currently doesn't have a job either. He used to live near the woods outside of Caledon and witnessed the owner's activities. His name was Anthony Pollo.
I think Pollo. I don't know. My
Pollo.
my tendency with two L's is to say Pollo.
Chicken.
It's chicken.
When he lived in the small bungalow outside the woods, he would often venture in to smoke a joint of marijuana or two before returning to his work as a wood craftsman. Pollo described that sometimes he would hear voices of children coming from deeper in the wood, as well as a glowing light off in the distance. Pollo told me these events started late 1997. Note, this is around the time Caledon Local 21 began airing. He apparently became annoyed by this, happening every once in a while, and actually went to investigate. Pollo then described what the whole scene looked like when he got there. There was a group of kids, he said about 13 to 17, and ages 5 to 12, gathered around a large fire pit with a burning fire. With them was a single adult. Pollo talked to the man, noting his unusual unkempt appearance of crack addict, as well as his constant twitching, and asked what he was doing out in the forest with children. The man said they were on a camping trip, something they did frequently. Pollo, not suspecting anything, Caledon had one of the lowest crime rates in Canada, simply left it at that and told them to be quieter. Pollo then paused for a while before telling me that they never became quieter. In fact, sometimes he heard loud chanting from children in an unknown language. He didn't bother meeting the man again. He was moving away anyway. I told Pollo the man was probably the owner of Caledon Local 21. He doubted it, as he heard that the man was moving to Pickering by several other residents near that. Here's what I know now. The man would take kids into the woods regularly camping. Fire pit Pollo described may be the hole the bodies the children were. The children Pollo saw, probably the ones found dead. The man moved to a city called Pickering, a small city east of Toronto. I will discuss this with my dad's friend, the ex-cop, see if this matches anything the police knew about the man. I also want to see if he has any other knowledge of what aired. Look, Caledon Local 21. This sounds satanic. I mean, just off of the other shows that we know aired, the one that the Fallen Angel one, and saying that they had to appease Satan. It sounds like we're looking into some potential child sacrifice. Let's set my predictions here. My little crystal ball moment. We're dealing with some child sacrifice to the devil.
Yep. All right. Update, February 10th, 2010. Good news, guys. I talked to my dad's friend. He disclosed a lot of information for me. First, I asked if the police had any information on the man who ran Caledon Local 21. He replied that they have only had the same leads for years and never found a suspect. However, the Peel Regional Police do have some of the tapes found in the house at Caledon Local 21 was broadcast from. He took me over so I could watch a few. I guess I haven't said much about him yet. My dad's friend's name is Mitchell Wilson, a pretty nice guy. He seems to understand my thirst for knowledge on what happened during the late 90s in that house. He feels it was wrong that my dad went so long without telling me. He took me to the Davis Road Police Station. If you don't know, it's the largest station in Caledon, and one of the largest within the Peel region itself. Each of the main stations around Peel have some of the tapes. I was able to watch all the footage that Davis Road Station has. Unfortunately, I wasn't allowed to take any of the tapes home with me for obvious reasons. Paint with the Soul, Episode 10, Garbage Thrown Away. Paint with the Soul was one of the shows that I Am Real Life and Siggy92 discussed on Neoseeker. I told the police about this, and they informed me that 12 episodes of the show were made and broadcasted between December 5th, 1997 and January 8th, 1998. Mr. Bear's Cellar, Episode 24. The episode started with Mr. Bear with the camera on its side, then Mr. Bear waddling over to his cellar door, then Mr. Bear dancing child, then child spoke up. Then Mr. Bear spoke up.
Get the fuck out. You're not invited.
You could hear dog voices in the background. Spoke up. Woof. Then Mr. Bear off camera before fading in. Dog in cellar door, then dog attacking Mr. Bear. Then kid run, cellar door, Mr. Bear, who started screaming. The camera then cut out, and that was the end of the episode. The channel then turned to static shortly after. Exactly as I Am Real Life and Siggy92 described, the episode opened with the cameraman wandering around in a forest. It appeared to be during the evening, as it seemed the sun was setting. The cameraman walked along a path until he got to an area where there was a lot of garbage lying in the leaves. The camera looked around at the various wrappers, bottles, bags, boxes, making sure each item got a few seconds of screen time. The camera then focused on a single area before the man spoke. I recall he spoke in a very timid, quiet voice, and I swear I've heard it somewhere else before, like on another Caledon Local 21 show. I could barely hear what he was saying, but he mainly talked about how humans are garbage, or something like that had to do with saving ourselves by cleaning up the garbage. Us. It actually sounded really stupid, but still a feeling of dread came over me. I mean, that forest was possibly where those bodies were found, right? Mr. Bear's Cellar, Episode 25. When the police administrator brought this tape in, I actually said,
Shit.
And chuckled a bit out loud. Of course, I got stares from the staff, but Wilson explained to them about my little experience with Mr. Bear and how I kept the letter he had sent me. Like the previous episodes, this one included a guy wearing a bear mascot costume. The episode began with Mr. Bear waddling over to a cellar door with a bottle of orange juice in his paws. On the ground were 16 shot glasses, as well as a small bottle that contained an unknown liquid. Mr. Bear poured an equal amount of orange juice into each glass before opening the smaller bottle and depositing one drop into the glasses. Mr. Bear then went off camera. There were some minor sounds such as shuffling, and then Mr. Bear emerged from behind the camera's location. Following him were 16 children. Some looked as young as 4, while others looked like they were practically teenagers. As the children entered, the administrator commented that this is the only episode that showed all 16 victims. The kids all looked rather content, except for this one who had visible bruises on his face. And unlike the other kids, he had a more fearful expression. He also looked about 11 or 12, which caused me to recognize him. He was the kid who had asked about his sister and subsequently met an unknown fate at the end of episode 23, that one episode I watched during July of 1999. When I told the administrator this, he confirmed it was the same kid. He also was featured in episode 24, an episode that only aired once at 3 o'clock in July 1999. The police still have not found the tape. Mr. Bear then broke into song singing about citrus fruits and how good vitamin C was for you. I could barely hear the lyrics as they were muffled by the bear mask. The kids all drank their juice, the one from episode 23 doing it rather reluctantly, and the episode ended. After viewing the tapes in possession of Davis Road Police Station, I'm satisfied but only temporarily. I still want to know the full story. The police just keep giving me the same crap about the creator of Caledon Local 21 being a fetishist pedophile, as well as an apparent cultist. I will sign off for now, get into university first, and get information later. Hopefully, I will be back to this blog as soon as possible.
This is like, this gets like worse and worse. Like each time, like I think it's gonna like, okay, I'm starting to understand what's happening. Like, first of all 16 kids at once. Okay, that makes sense. Why? Like I was under the impression, okay, how do you get 16 kids over time without not understanding that, hey, like okay, all these kids that are disappearing, they're all writing out to Mr. Bear. No, it all happened at once. And now I'm curious, like, so that little vial that he has, or the little bottle that had, if they're only putting one drop, what is it, like acid inside of it? Like, or is it rat poison or something? Like, ooh, dude, it's fucking crazy. Really.
Yep. Yep.
Update, May 8th, 2010. Last month, I finally got my G2 license. In Ontario, Canada, this allows you to drive a car by yourself, as well as with some passengers after 6 months. I, of course, took advantage of this and drove into Caledon for a little Sunday drive. Since I haven't updated this blog in a while, I figured I might as well visit the house where the infamous channel of my childhood was. The house looked different from what I saw last in October. The place was no longer used as a daycare, and just sat there, abandoned. However, it did have a for sale sign showing that someone still owned it, wanting to get rid of it though. The abandoned house drew fuzzy memories in my mind, mainly of that day my dad took me to visit Mr. Bear.
A feeling of dread came upon me. What happened to the children while they were living in that house?
Walked up the steps to the front door and peered through the window. Inside, I could see a nearly empty hallway, with a few boxes at the end. At the end of the hallway, to the right, there was an open doorway, presumably leading into the kitchen. To the left, there were 2 doors, both apparently leading to the rooms visible through the windows outside. I wondered where the cellar entrance was located, and whether it had been sealed up. I walked around to the back of the house and found my answer. 2 wooden doors, lying at an almost flat angle, were padlocked shut. This had to lead to the cellar. Not wanting to hang around, you cannot imagine what was going through my mind at the time. I departed. Behind the house, the empty field continued on until it reached a dense forest that lined the horizon. I wondered if that was the forest where the bodies of the children were found. I thought to myself,
Fuck it.
and proceeded to walk across the field, behind the house and into the forest.
The forest was oddly quiet, save for the few periodic sounds of a woodpecker drilling into a distant tree. I cautiously made my way deeper into the woods, not really caring about the fact that I had no idea where I was going. I don't know how to explain it, but it felt like there was something I had to find. I came to a thinner part of the woods, a few small houses in the distance. Polo's house crossed my mind, and I wondered if one of these homes belonged to him. I neared a small clearing in which I could see 3 adequately sized logs gathered around a black, charred area, showing a small fire had been lit there recently.
Hey! Get the fuck out of our fort!
Those words nearly gave me a heart attack. I turned to the left and saw 2 dark-cloaked people running towards me. My initial thought was to run. However, as they came closer, I saw they were really just kids in their early teens. Possibly 13, 14, maybe even 12. As they approached me, they realized my size as well, 6'1". While they could have been no bigger than 5'8". One might have been around 5'7".
We said, get the fuck out.
The larger one, who was wearing a Slipknot shirt, said half-heartedly. I stood my ground and shrugged. The shorter one, who was wearing a Metallica shirt, swung out a butterfly knife and held it in my direction.
No, you wouldn't want to.
I said in a deep, serious tone, trying to sound as badass as possible. I pulled out my cell phone. The 2 kids withdrew, the one in the Metallica shirt putting away the knife.
Look, dude, we don't like people in our fort, so can you just go?
The one in the Slipknot shirt said, obviously intimidated, I had no business in the forest anyway. So I uttered out a simple,
Fine.
turned, before I realized I had a great opportunity.
Did either of you hear of a guy who murdered a bunch of kids in these woods about 13 years ago?
I asked the kids. The 2 looked at each other in confusion, before the one wearing the Metallica shirt answered.
Yeah. Everyone knows about that guy.
He said to me as if I were stupid. Kid in the Slipknot shirt continued.
He still lives around here, in the storm drain. My big brother's friend says he saw him in a bear costume once, wandering around the forest at night.
Oh. What? What do you mean he's still here? What? Oh, jeez. Okay. My instincts told me this was probably a lie, and the owner of Caledon Local 21 was probably long gone. The only existing as folklore in this smaller, isolated community. However, as a human, I thought of the mysterious unknown sparks interest within.
And where's the storm drain?
I asked, just out of curiosity. I don't actually believe the kid's story. The kid in the Metallica shirt stared at me for a few moments, his eyes seemingly full of annoyance, yet curiosity for me.
You're not from around here, are you? Why did you even come here?
Now, I do admit, I was slightly startled by the nature of the question. However, I figured I might as well explain why I was there, just in case people mistook my intentions. I told the two kids about my experience with the man, Caledon Local 21, and that I had come to maybe seek out some sort of closure, although even I wasn't exactly sure. The kids seemed familiar with the channel. They smiled, looked at each other while I mentioned it. They also became more understanding, gave me a detailed description of how to get to the storm drain. Shortly after, I decided to just turn around the way I came, head back to the house, leaving the kids at their fort. But now you're probably wondering why I left out such a detail about what the kids told me just now. It is because I'm choosing to conclude what I have gathered now. Here's what the kids told me in detail. Storm drain lies ahead of the kids' fort, same direction I was heading. The drain ends at a river where excess water is drained out. Near here is a small playground. Kids told me people rarely use it. The man supposedly lives in a large pipe the rainwater drains out of. People have seen him, although always either wearing a bear mask or a mask of full body bear. Note, I did not believe this true. In fact, simply a myth made by a residents of Caledon. The story doesn't really seem plausible in any way. Why did no one call the police? The guy looked suspicious. And other questions like these leave the story invalid. I may visit the storm drain, not because I believe the story, but because I wanted an excuse to visit Caledon again. So this blog doesn't die. No more tapes to watch. I don't know what to talk about anymore. Thanks for continuing to support me in my blog. I know many are looking forward to more information about what happened in Caledon during the year 1999. I will do my best to continue my research into the topic. I'll leave it out.
We're getting close. We're getting close.
Oh man, this is a lot, bro. Like, oh man, the sketchiness.
Update. October 7th, 2010. Wow. Nearly 5 months since I last updated. I'm guessing everyone pretty much thinks I was dead, right? Well, thankfully I'm not. In all my seriousness, I really have been busy these past few months, and a blog about something that could have killed me as a kid is a little low on my current priorities list. As of now, I'm living in Waterloo, Ontario, attending the University of Waterloo for computer engineering. Yeah, I'm a keener. As you can imagine, engineering is no walk in the park, so obviously I nearly forgot about this blog. But as you can see, now I am back. I remembered to visit the storm drain the kids from Caledon Forest.
This ain't Pokemon, bro. I know we were talking about Pokemon earlier.
The mental association kicked in hard.
No, literally.
I remembered to visit the storm drain that the kids from the Caledon Forest told me about. It was out in a clearing between the wooded areas nearby a marsh. Unfortunately, I found absolutely nothing, save for a turtle that retreated to its built-in home when it saw me. I snapped some pictures of the pipe, which I have posted as well. Also, let me tell you, it was not a storm drain like they said it was. What I saw was a simple pipe, possibly to channel the excess water from the marsh. When I returned from Caledon, however, I simply kept putting off uploading everything until I forgot all about my blog. It just didn't seem important anymore. Please forgive me. It wasn't until only recently that I'm now interested in my case again. On September 10th, I received an email from this email address, returnthebee@hotmail.com. Funny, am I right? Well, it gets better. I'm going to copy and paste the exact email this guy sent me.
Dear Elliot, my dear boy. You see, this story may or may not be true, but it could happen. There are many slots for airtime. If you have money, you can have a public access TV channel. Some public access channels share airtime, like EWTN, religious channel based out of this is religious channel based out of Michigan, that shows Catholic programming, but during their off-air hours have independent shows or just blue screen. Cable networks have empty channels available for rent space. So, the scenario of a pedo renting a channel on basic TV is not far-fetched at all. However, public access TV is widely reviewed and can be terminated at any time. These are the rules for the United States, not for Canada, where the story took place. So, if this happened in the US, the pedo would be tracked down and arrested immediately. Yes, this story could happen, but it is unlikely. 100 fuzzy hugs, Mr. Bear.
Now, obviously, this letter is fake and sounds almost corrupted, hence the many misspellings. But still, I would like to thank whoever sent it, though they could use some English lessons. Just reading this letter creeped me out, but because of it, I'm now full of this new interest to continue my blog. I guess it's just funny trying to pursue the mysteries I've always questioned. Now, my roommate knows about all of this. He thought the letter was real and actually seemed more scared of it than I was for a second. But then I shrugged it off. So he did too. I mean, what are the chances of this being real? How could Mr. Bear know all this about public access TV and about when I went to the Caledon on those occasions? More or less know my email or me still being interested in his cellar. Ha! I'm going to send a reply to return the bee. Wow. Just looking at that email address, you can tell someone wanted to freak me out. It didn't really work though. Although, to whomever you are, thank you for sparking my interest back fully into the matter. Maybe I can find out more about what happened to Mr. Bear. Hopefully, because although I don't buy that email, a part of me still feels anxious. Thank you to all those who are still following me and have become avid fans. You're also why I'm choosing to continue this. Thanks, guys.
Dude, that's horrifying. If I received a fucking email from Return the Bee and it was signed Mr. Bear, I would delete that fucking blog. I would disappear off the face of the planet.
So the funny thing is, so this is what? This is 2010? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is 2010. So in 2010, I was in Afghanistan. Actually good frame of reference. So here's the thing. As somebody who remembers being a kid in 1999, remembers being an adult in 2010, I can tell you 1,000%, we were still like you would put things like this onto a blog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And you would be fully ignorant to the ramifications and what came out of it like that, you know?
I don't know, man. I was using the internet in 2010. I was what, like 14 years old, probably 15, something like that. But I definitely, if I would have seen something like this, dude, I would have
Yeah,
freaked the fuck out.
but so that and that's the thing, and that's why like specifically, so 2010 was like kind of when MySpace went down, when Facebook came up, and everything.
Right,
I
right.
I, I remember. I think back to the MySpace days as an adult. You know what I mean? Like 2009, what I was putting on MySpace and everything, which was essentially like a mini blog. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
because
yeah.
MySpace was more like long post oriented
Yeah,
than
it was
Facebook or
definitely
anything
more of
is.
a
Yeah,
blog, whereas Facebook became
yeah,
much more status or
yeah. And so like the thing to me was, it's like I don't know, like we did get that stuff, but to your point too, yes, I would probably at that point, that would have been the point where it's like, should I keep talking about these things? Like, should I
no.
maybe be a little more private? Because okay, let's say it is some like creep stalker whatever that's like
Right.
coming and emailing you. Like, okay, it's weird as fuck that he took that route with the fucking uh FAA regulations and everything. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
it's
oh well,
very,
yeah.
very peculiar.
Especially because here's the thing, because he mentioned in the email, he's like essentially a pedo bear.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, this, he would certainly be tracked down. He would be hunted. He would be chased. Like this is just outlandish.
It
But
almost
it's
makes it seem like this isn't Mr. Bear's first go around. It almost seems like he fled to Canada because maybe he was doing something somewhere else before.
right.
Update November 7th, 2010. Wow. I can't believe this blog hasn't been deleted yet. I haven't checked it for so long. I have my reasons, and I'd rather not discuss them just yet. It has been a rather traumatic month for me. Some of you were right. I shouldn't have gone back trying to relive the mysteries of my childhood. I couldn't resist. It's been a month since my last post. A lot has happened. Let's recap where I'm at right now with regards to the whole Mr. Bear incident. returnthebee@hotmail.com is no longer in use. I tried replying to the email, but I got no reply. Tried again a while back, but still no response. I actually moved up to Ottawa, capital of Canada, for those who... Why is that necessary? Why do I care that that's the... Ah, it's Canada, buddy. Thanks, friend.
The most inferior city, if you will.
Your country. Just kidding, Canadian friends of ours. We love our Canadian friends.
Some of
America's hat. Now,
I like hats.
I do as well. I moved up to Ottawa for university, so I haven't been back to Caledon or back home in the Peel region for a while. I had my reasons for leaving, as you could guess why. I've had to make a new email account because people kept prank mailing me pretending to be Mr. Bear. Thanks a lot, guys. Not! Why have I ventured back to this blog? Mitchell Wilson, remember my dad's ex-cop friend? Gave me a phone call on October 23rd about a tape that was found in a branch of Brampton Public Library. Brampton is my hometown, in case you haven't picked up on that. He claims he isn't allowed to discuss the contents of the tape with me, as it still is in evidence, but he asked me to come to check it out when I return home. That tape got the gears grinding again because we all know what was on the last tapes that I saw. I can only imagine what would be on it. Guessing it must have something to do with Caledon Local 21. Guess I wanted to say I'm continuing this blog, and thank you for everyone who still follows it. I don't know when my next entry will be, but when I see that tape, I'll write what I find. I don't know what to expect, but the idea of seeing another tape has gotten me interested. Whole mystery all over again. Elliot. This is going to be that lost, the episode that they couldn't find. This is going to be that one thing that aired that no one had any record of.
It's gonna be something. It's gonna be something. All right, let's keep rolling. We're too close to the end right here.
We're cooking
We're ready
with it.
for this. Yeah. Update. January 21st, 2011, roughly 2 months later for anybody not keeping track. The end of 2010 into the new year was dreadfully long for me. University has been giving me the usual sleepless nights, especially since I transferred to Ottawa, which is the place to party. But now I'm back home with my dad in Brampton, the town I grew up in. I got home on the 18th of December and have been visiting with friends and family, or at least that's what I would rather have done. Now that festive holiday cheer that I usually have at this time of the month is absent. To answer the 100 of emails and comments I've gotten, yes, I did get to see the tapes that my dad's friend Mitchell promised to show me. These tapes, however, act as a curse. I want to know more, yet I want to forget everything. I couldn't help it. I needed to see those tapes. Not only for myself, but for all of you guys who are just as intrigued as I am by that ominous man in a bear suit from my past. However, after viewing those tapes, I feel that pit of dread deep inside of me once again. That feeling where I know that all those kids in those videos are dead. That I could have been one of those kids. And that humanity is a dark, dark place. If you haven't skipped this paragraph for the juicier details below, thank you for listening to my rambling. On January 1st, I called Mitchell Wilson and asked if there was a time where I could come by and view the tapes. Things were pretty slow at the station because of a snowstorm, so he said I could come down any time that day. The tapes were located at a branch not too far from me, so I braved the slushy roads and terrible Brampton drivers and made my way to the Peel Region Police Station, located on Bromelia City Center. I met Wilson at the front desk, where he then led me up to the second floor and into a small office. He instructed me to have a seat and wait while he went and got the tapes. Before leaving the office, he turned to me and said,
I'm sorry, I'm ordering DoorDash. Hold on. Oh. I got hungry. I know you're curious, but sure you want to do this?
Of course I did. At least I thought so. Because Wilson's friend had pulled a lot of strings to get me in there, and I didn't want to waste the opportunity. This particular station had 2 tapes on hand. I was only able to watch a few minutes of footage, however, because the second tape was apparently too damaged to be played on a VCR. That's a tape player for you kids out there.
See, back in the day, we had these little boxes, kind of similar to this, but much bigger. And basically, we would put them into another box, and we would have to wait for it to go and rewind itself, and then we could push a button, a physical button. It wasn't on a screen, and then it would play the contents that were stored on the box on a very little thin reel that went inside of it.
All right, Mr. Bear's Cellar, episode 30. Mr. Bear never ceases to disturb me, especially after what almost happened when I was younger. The episode took place outside in a forest at dusk, making it slightly hard to see, especially considering the quality of the film, trademark of anything from Caledon Local 21. The episode started with the camera being held in the paws of Mr. Bear, aiming it at himself. That bear mask. It looked more sinister in the shadows of the trees. The unmistakable muffled voice spoke up.
Hello, children. Today, I will be doing a wonderful thing for my friends. I will be delivering them to a faraway land where they will surely be happy.
Mr. Bear turned the camera around to show an ATV with an attached trailer. What stood out the most was that the trailer contained 7 motionless children lying side by side.
This here is the first load, but more will be on their way soon.
Mr. Bear turned around and pointed the camera at a large burlap tarp spread on the ground. He picked up the tarp, revealing a large hole that must have been at least 12 feet deep and maybe about 15 feet wide. The rest of the episode consisted of Mr. Bear taking each kid and dropping them into the hole. I asked Wilson if they were dead, to which he shook his head and replied,
Not yet.
Soon, all the kids were in the pit. Some were in awkward positions due to being tossed in, but they remained unconscious.
The vitamin C will surely help these children on that great journey that awaits them.
Mr. Bear mentioned as he panned the camera toward multiple bottles of gasoline beside a bush. The camera zoomed into the bottles as Mr. Bear hummed before the episode ended. Wilson revealed to me that these were 7 of the 16 victims found burned to a crisp. The gasoline is what the man playing Mr. Bear used to light them on fire. A pit full of burning children. Who the fuck would do that? That feeling of dread found me once again when I realized that I could have been one of those kids. Wilson then explained to me that he had previously lied. The other tape confiscated by the Brahmalia police branch did indeed work and contained the filming of the actual burning. However, he felt that I wouldn't be able to handle the disturbing and graphic nature of the episode. You know what? Maybe I can't. I don't even want to see it. I'm satisfied for now, but I need some time to get myself together. The thing is, the man who ran Caledon Local 21 is still out there. More to come. Soon. Elliot.
Now,
Well,
before we continue with this, INRI, isn't that what they put on the cross for Jesus?
yes.
Okay. And doesn't that mean King of the Jews?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, okay, this is from Mr. Bear. Once upon a time, there lived a boy named Elliot. Elliot was a clever boy who loved playing with his friends. One day, he watched a lovely television show about a bear and his children friends. The children loved helping each other as good children should, but they also loved the bear. The bear loved the children since the children were so good at helping him and the fallen angel. The children and the bear wanted to play together forever with the help of their angel friend, but the fallen angel needed even more help. So the children had to give the ultimate sacrifice, because that's what friends do, Elliot. They help each other. Help us, Elliot. Burn with us, Elliot. I want you, Elliot. He wants you, Elliot. Come back to my cellar, pretty please, with sugar and icing on top, Mr. B.
Holy fuck! Oh! Oh!
Death cult to Satan, that's what it is. Yep. This is crazy, dude. This is
Fallen angel.
insane. Oh my gosh. My mind is so blown. So I'm really perplexed to the INRI.
Well,
We'll find out.
I mean, okay, so he's helping a fallen angel. What is Satan? Satan was the fallen angel. He
Right,
rebelled
yeah.
against God
Yeah.
and was cast down from heaven. And so IRI is Jesus. Now, why is that in the message? Oh,
Very interesting. Update. April 5th, 2011. I wanted to update more. I truly did. However, certain circumstances had turned me off to the whole Caledon Local 21 thing. I've since then had hundreds of emails about my blog and was even in contact with a magazine about my story. Now is the time to come clean to everyone. Where have I been for an entire year? The story of Pandora's box is true, and I opened it. I opened it when I watched the second tape in the possession of the Brahmalia police branch. The other subject I'd like to address in this number of jokes/fake emails I've been getting from people claiming to be Mr. Bear. Let's start with the second tape, as that is what traumatized traumatized me into stopping my search temporarily. After a few weeks of playing silent, I decided to ask Mitchell Wilson if I could view that infamous second tape he had talked about. I don't know why. I just felt that viewing the tape would give me some closure. Wilson was obviously reluctant to show me, but I was persistent. He gave me an offer. If I was still interested by the time I turned 20, he would show me the tape. Not being able to do much else, just played the waiting game. By the time my 20th birthday rolled around, I was definitely still interested in viewing the tape. I gave Wilson a call, during which he admitted that he had hoped I would forget about asking him again, but not taking no for an answer.
You really don't need to see it.
He kept telling me. But I did need to see it. I had to at this point. Sure enough, he invited me to the Bromalia Police Branch one Monday afternoon. Having watched every Saw film and every video of animal slaughterhouses in my ethics class, I was sure to be able to handle whatever the tape could throw at me. How naive I was. Mr. Bear's Cellar, episode 31. When Wilson went to collect the tape from evidence, the officer in charge of the evidence room shook his head at me, his face saying,
What are you doing?
Wilson explained that this tape includes the last known evidence of Mr. Bear's cellar. I rightfully assumed I would be seeing the fate of the children. I began to feel a sense of dread. The episode opened inside of a forest, the usual one from the previous episodes. This fact took me a while to realize because it was night. Trees and leaves looked like shapes dancing around in the darkness. A faint glow of light was present on the right side of the screen. There wasn't any apparent audio. It appeared to be a windy night, yet the trees weren't making any noise. Slowly, the camera began to pan towards the glow, revealing smoke rising from a hole, with the tips of the flames peeking just over the top. Wilson paused at this point.
Are you sure you want to see this?
He asked me. I insisted on it, even though a voice in my head was telling me not to. Video continued. The cameraman moved towards the hole, showing a pit of fire. This was the hole that I had seen from the previous episode.
Only this time, it was filled with shapes. I could see shapes moving around, fluttering, flailing. Some motionless. I knew perfectly well what they were.
The camera began to adjust to the light. Burning flesh. Red, black, blur of surreal movement and colors. I wish I could forget what I saw.
But you can't forget a scene like this. This was not a horror movie. This was reality. Human beings were being killed in a horrifying way. A fate that I could have potentially met.
Video suddenly cut to dawn. Camera now positioned farther away from the hole. Fire was out. However, there was still smoke rising up. The figure was up ahead. Recognized it right away. Mr. Bearsuit. Laid on the ground, empty. Looked just as unnerving. The suit was laid out in the shape of a cross. The cameraman did a lap around the suit, treating it like a treasured artifact. Placed at the head of the suit was a sign. In bold red letters, INRI was printed. The cameraman moved back to the end of the suit, zooming into the bear's face. The episode finally ended. I was speechless. It was like a dream. I find a lot of terrible things on the internet. I had never seen anything like this. Wilson asked me if I was okay, and I replied with a shaky,
Yes.
heard him. We left. I was fine, and the video gave me closure over the whole incident. Didn't seem too confident in me, but he left it at that. Right though. I had nightmares for weeks. I gave up. I didn't care about the whole thing anymore. Sick man, burnt a bunch of kids alive, attracting them with a fake kids TV channel.
I could have been one of his victims, yet I'm still here. I suppose I should be grateful, but I feel guilty. Am I still here only by pure luck? 10 months later, I'm back. But now, I need to address something else.
My email has been flooded with messages. Some people ask for more details. Some people ask if I can upload the tapes. Some people email me claiming to be Mr. Bear. First, I cannot get the tapes, as they're A, in police possession of evidence, and B, I have no idea how to transfer VHS onto a computer. As for the people pretending to be Mr. Bear, not fooling me. You have dozens of people pretending to be the same person, it doesn't work. I've even seen some fake Caledon Local 21 YouTube channel, which is cute, but still not real. Even more annoying is the fact that someone hacked my account and put up some demented poem about me on this blog. I'll leave it in the entry above this one, just to show you guys. I've contacted my webmaster about the entry. I was told that it was posted on Halloween. Ooh, spooky. Attached to the email, paintwithb@aol.com, which I assume is another joke email. I'm over episode 31 now. The images of what I saw will stick with me for a while. I want to do one last hurrah. I will get into contact with Mitchell Wilson again, and hopefully get set up with the tapes in the possession of the Peel police branches. Try to update you guys as soon as I can. I'm sure this won't take so long again. Thank you to everyone who still reads this. Elliot.
And he never updated again.
Oh my gosh.
So the question, the poem inside the Henry, again, remember episode 31, what was going on, right? And so that's where the bear suit was laid out. Mr. B, Paint with Mr. B was the email address that hacked his account and put that poem on his last post.
Do we see the poem?
There. Yeah, no, you did. You read it. So the Henry, once upon a time there lived a boy named Elliot. Elliot was a clever boy who loved playing with his friends. So that was the poem that they hacked his account and added in. Because you asked why it was randomly there.
Bro, what a fucking crazy ending. Oh my gosh, dude.
But he's he's gonna update again, and it won't take as long this time.
Oh my gosh, dude. I love the implication behind that, just being that Mr. Bear got his ass. Like, like, oh my gosh, like the chills I have from that. What an insane ending. Holy shit, dude. I have no closure. That, like, he got, bro. Like, oh my gosh, dude. Holy.
And I love those. I love the ones that just kind of leave you hanging. But it's like the implication is the ending. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
It's like, okay, it's not gonna take me as long to update, but he never updated again.
Right. You know, he's gone all these huge stretches, but this time he's like, no, I'll be back soon with this.
Yep. After his webmaster confirmed that Paint with B was the one who hacked his account, which
yes. Oh my gosh, dude, that's terrifying. Legitimately. Oh, what a fucking first read, dude. What a absolute masterpiece.
Well, that was why I wanted to like bring that one to the table, because like that one is so, to me, because I read this one forever ago. I read this like 10 years ago for the first time. And I was like, this is such, like, it's such an iconic creepypasta in my opinion, you know? Like just so like it's the blog style, it's got the suspense. It has the tone, and it kind of leads you in a direction, but it like it's not what you expect, you know? And
Not
then
at
the
all.
ending, it's got that perfect like cliffhang kind of implication driven ending.
Yeah, I
I love it.
mean, it's very clear to me that Mr. Bear, again, this isn't his first rodeo.
Yeah.
Like with that, so what I gather from this is that Mr. Bear's been doing this. He used to be in the United States, and whatever happened in the United States, they they go after shit like that.
Yeah.
So he fled up north to Canada, did it all over again.
Yep.
And I mean, just the imagery, the visualization of the bear suit laid out, like the cross with the INRI on
Yeah.
it. Dude, I mean, wow. Like, just wow. This, bravo. Bravo. Like, that, what a great fucking piece of work there.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Because I thought,
Dude,
like I said, I always think it's fantastic.
it was
But
amazing. I mean, I I did not know what to expect going in, and I mean the visualizations that they do, the low budget fidelity of the camcorder,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then the follow up emails that hey, Mr. Bear has kept up with Elliot ever since like he was a kid, and like started posting about this. Like, dude, it's oh heebie-jeebies, bro,
So
heebie-jeebies.
the weird thing to me when I first read it, because I was grown, my niece was still younger, but when I lived at home with my niece, she was a super huge fan of Bear in the Big Blue House,
Mhm.
and all like to me the mental image that I get was always Bear in the Big Blue House. You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah,
picture of and so I don't know if it's because of that or what, but it just felt more.
it hit closer to home, more
Yeah,
visceral.
it was so much easier to kind of like visualize this
To connect
as
it to
yeah,
something that
yeah,
like I could
yeah,
see this have
yeah,
been something like this.
yeah,
And dude, yeah, oh my gosh, exactly what you're saying. Like I remember watching Bear in the Big Blue House a shitload as a kid. I loved that show,
yeah.
and I, I promise I'm gonna stop yawning once I get something to eat here. But yeah, man, I mean, just it is mind-boggling. This is actually terrifying, legitimately horrifying. And just the way it leaves off, like, I'll update you guys soon. It won't take me long.
Yeah.
And that's the last,
And that's the end of it.
dude. I thoroughly enjoyed the shit out of that.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic.
Exactly.
Feel
But
that?
nonetheless, fantastic first episode, I think. Appreciate you guys for hanging around and watching through this as we struggle to get better at our reading skills. But it was a blast. It was a blast.
Yes, yes, it was. Yes, it was.
But alrighty, Tyler, you got anything you want to sign out with? You want to tell to the good people watching?
I don't think so. I mean, customary YouTube jargon: like, share, subscribe.
Or else you're gay,
Yep, that's true.
which is okay in 2026.
That is also true.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you all for watching. Stay sleazy, take it easy, and we will catch you on the next episode. Like, share, and subscribe for free cookies. You won't get them from us, but somebody at some point very well might give you a free cookie, so don't take that chance. Not getting your free cookie.
Bye.
Deuces.